Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about, well, you probably guessed it already. Yes, Truck Driving 101. In this guide, short guide, I will be going over some basic mechanics and then move on to more advanced tips and tricks on truck routes. Let's start off with, why is having a good truck driver or mastering the truck yourself is a good skill to have in Hell Let Loose? At the start of a match is where the truck driving is the most crucial. If you get a truck full of blueberries to the point first, you're going to have a good starting position to cap the middle point first. For example, let's have a look at this clip from a WTH practice event taken by Known Connection. On the bottom right you can see the access truck driving straight up to the church to cap the middle point. They hop out next to the church and without any resistance from the allies, they occupy the key building, and on the right side of the screen you can see another access squad setting up a defensive flank. Let's pause this clip for a second and have a proper look at what is going on here. Oh, and sorry, no connection, I froze your face like that. The axes are comfortably set up in the church and there's no sight of an allied squad inside the hard cap. We got an allied truck way up north on the flank, but there's no full squad bombing it down to the center, to the church. Ultimately, this led to Axis having a key position and able to hold this key position, and it led to an easy midpoint cap for the Axis. For basic controls of driving a truck, you can use WASD for driving and steering, E to start and stop the engine, and spacebar is used for your handbrake. I won't go over normal driving in this guide, instead I'll jump into a technique that's called the handbrake turn. A handbrake turn is one of the techniques you can apply to gain more control over your truck when going through corners. Per default, the turning circle of a truck in Hell Let Loose has about the same turning circle as the size of a jumbo jet. There's no chance in hell you're going to make a tight corner with this truck, unless you apply the handbrake turn. If you hold the handbrake going into a corner, you can make a sharper corner and have more control over how the truck handles and behaves in a corner. The downside of this technique is that if you don't have the right balance or hold the handbrake for too long when going into a corner, you will overcompensate and overshoot in the direction you steered the truck in. There's like a fine balance to what works and what doesn't work when performing a handbrake turn. The only way to find this balance and get a grip on it is through sheer practice. Jump on an empty server, drive around for a bit, and practice the routes you want to drive and learn. Another thing you need to keep in mind when driving the fastest route towards the midcap is objects and object collision. When driving a truck from HQ towards an objective, there are a lot of objects in the way. Think of trees, fences, hedgerows, and so on. Some of the objects you can easily drive through and others you can't. Let's have a look at this Quarantine route. It goes from top HQ to canal crossing, and the fastest straight line has a massive canal in the way and a lot of objects. The first part of the route is an easy bit, up until you get close to the canal. For instance, here we have a silo on the left, and the gate posts are also solid objects. You cannot drive through that. So we're going straight around it, and we run into 3 different solid objects. To make the sharp corner, we do a quick handbrake turn to get through between them and be on the jolly way. Here comes the most interesting bit of the route. The dock on the left is solid and the rudder is also solid, but you can squeeze the truck through here. Then we drive off the bottom of the canal and come out swinging on the other end. You just have to be creative in finding the fastest route. The more you drive a truck, the faster you will get at recognizing what objects are solid and what isn't. Again, it's all about practice and experience. How do you find the ideal route? Well, it takes some time to find and master the ideal route or the fastest route to a point, and especially if you're a truck driver in competitive Hell Let Loose. If you do the math, the midpoint is always random on the map, and per truck spawn there are 3 different routes to learn and memorize. To find an ideal route, you start with drawing an imaginary line in your head on a map from point A to point B, and just simply start driving it. Along the way you'll figure out how to overcome certain obstacles or work your way around it. And one final closing tip and trick I can give you: you always want to be at the warm-up wall with your truck well in advance. Once the timer hits around, 8 or 9 seconds, start hammering down the throttle and slam the truck into the warm-up wall. This will get the truck into 5th gear, and once the warm-up wall is gone, you will shoot off at full speed towards your objective, and maybe shaving off a second or two to get you ahead. Hopefully this gave you more insight and knowledge in how to drive a truck in Hell Let Loose. I will be putting out more guides and gameplay footage in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.